From ending the career of some of Roblox's biggest YouTubers to being doxed several times for his videos, Parlo is an extremely controversial name within the Roblox community, and today I will be answering the question of why he is so hated. Parlo is a massive Roblox commentary YouTuber with over 455,000 subscribers and 110 million views. Parlo has a very long catalogue of videos. Most of them are talking about controversial topics, YouTubers, and situations, but with that comes a lot of hate. You know, if your favorite YouTuber is exposed by Parlo and it has not yet been proven with concrete evidence, it can make a lot of people feel some type of way about him. And don't get me wrong, being a Roblox commentary YouTuber is great. However, it comes with a lot of hate, threats of doxing, false strikes, and more. And Parlo is one of the best examples of this. He has been doxed, false striked, and had his family threatened numerous times, all over what he talks about in his videos. And obviously this isn't good for anyone's mental health, and especially not Parlo's. But is it really his fault for exposing bad people within the Roblox community, or does he deserve everything he has got? Also, before this video starts, I would like to disclaim that I have been friends with Parlo in the past and have had many conversations with him. However, this video will not be biased for or against him. This video is purely made to truly explain to you guys why Parlo is the most hated channel in the Roblox community. Parlo has been in a lot of controversies, with at least one happening every 3 to 6 months. However, there is a reason for this that I will be talking about later, but first, we must take it back to the beginning, when the Parlo hate train would first start moving. During 2021, a small commentary YouTuber who went by the name of LT Mako would be called out by Parlo for something I cannot say on YouTube. However, the call out would prompt LT Mako to drop a video entitled My Response to Parlo, where he would go on to debunk the allegations made against him, calling Parlo out for creating the whole situation himself. And Parlo does not like people playing around with his name. This is where Parlo would go on to in his Discord server, announcing to all of his members stating, "At everyone, dislike Mako's video. He is planning to raid and destroy the server." Now, this move was highly controversial, as not only is dislike bombing somewhat a dog move, but technically it is against YouTube's terms of service. But shortly after all of this happened, many of the smaller commentary YouTubers were making videos on Parlo. But I want to point out Blue Lego Cats 123, a creator who would go on to make a hit piece on Parlo titled Parlo, The End of an Era, The Disgusting Truth About the Chaos Creator. However, to nobody's surprise, Parlo would double down on the dislike bombing by going after Blue Lego Cats, stating in his Discord server, "At everyone, this is unironically one of the worst videos I have ever watched. Dislike it." But why am I even talking about this in the first place? Well, not only is dislike bombing someone a bad look, but Parlo has talked against it before, making this situation a little hypocritical, stating, "She bullied smaller channels with dislike bombing." However, I wouldn't necessarily hold this against Parlo. The situation wasn't anything more than a nothing burger, and Parlo would even go on to address the situation in an interview with a Cheeto.
Also the raids where the dislike bomb, I'm basically you can go and let Mako's channel. Me and him have settled differences regarding that now.
However, February 12th, 2022 would be the day that changed everything. A small but well-known commentary YouTuber at the time who went under the name Grimsy would upload a video to the platform entitled Parlo is Cringe. The video would detail Grimsy's opinions on Parlo, with him calling out Parlo for being hypocritical and cringe. But it wasn't the video that would change anything. It was a comment from Parlo's old friend that would. Jadyn, who is a now retired commentary YouTuber with over 300,000 subscribers, would leave a snarky comment under the video reading, "Parlo fell off after he stopped using TTS." Now keep in mind, Parlo and Jadyn were supposed to be friends at the time, so Jadyn leaving this comment really made Parlo upset, and he wouldn't just let it slide. Parlo would go on to join Jadyn's community server, only to get banned a few hours later for quote-unquote being black. So not only has Parlo's supposed friend left a nasty comment about him under someone's video berating him, but Jadyn also banned Parlo from their server. This is where Parlo would take to Twitter reading, "Call out post, Jadyn, I did nothing to you, but now that you banned me for being black in your server when I'm not, and starting unneeded conflict, you monetize videos about people's deaths, glorify his actions, and so much worse. Now, Parlo had some very good points against Jadyn, but it wouldn't be enough to get the community's attention or do anything to Jadyn whatsoever. However, Parlo would write a lengthy thread full of more accusations, monetized Jacksepticeye's dad's death, with an attached screenshot of Jadyn's video on the topic being monetized. Parlo would even add that this is not the first time Jadyn has done something like this, showing another screenshot of an advertisement on a video about the topic, joking about Jadyn, adding another person's death advertisement, even stating against Jadyn, love how you used to use his tags in metadata, so when people are seeing if Bashaverse died, your video, which was monetized, pops out, but apparently I'm the one who fell off, adding, let me retrieve the chat logs of you saying you didn't care about the Bashaverse video being monetized. However, after going back and forth on YouTube, the quote-unquote Parlo situation wouldn't just end there. See, Jadyn at the time was at least friends with every commentary YouTuber, but guess who wasn't? That's right, Parlo. And this would only make things worse for him, as shortly after, the entire commentary community would be going after him. This takes us to February 16th, 2022. An extremely popular commentary YouTuber with over 530,000 subscribers, who goes by the name Achido, would drop a video titled, Why I Don't Like Parlo. The video would detail Achido's dislike of Parlo, but why exactly would he dislike Parlo? After all, this was early into both of their careers, when neither parties had much of a reason to dislike each other in the first place.
But you, my friend, you seem to think that that's bad. You seem to have a huge issue with putting advertisements on videos, specifically ones that cover serious topics, even though you've done that yourself multiple times. Like, this guy's a hypocrite.
However, following Achido's video on Parlo would be an interview posted the very next day where Achido and Parlo would hop on a call to sort out the situation. In the interview, Achido would mainly confront Parlo on two subjects. Firstly, the Parlo versus Jadyn beef, which Parlo would go on to say was stupid and unneeded, as well as how he feels on monetizing sensitive subjects.
No, it's fine. Just don't monetize it or put your socials in there trying to gain something out of it. Just don't ask for subscribers. Don't ask for likes, don't ask for anything which you could personally gain off of it, unless you're just making the video just to publicize them. Yes, fine.
Okay.
After the video, people started to side with Parlo, realizing that this is not that big of a deal and people would make mistakes. It's just in this certain situation, the mistake was made by a somewhat big YouTuber. However, even though everything was fine at the time, things would soon get much worse for Parlo. See, Parlo has always sort of made the same content. It has mostly been him just exposing other creators or communities. And there is nothing wrong with this. Somebody will always be reporting on drama that goes on inside of a community. But why is there so much backlash in the Roblox community specifically? Well, the simple answer is, it's because the community is full of kids who don't actually know who is in the right or wrong. For example, some 9-year-old kid's favorite YouTuber gets exposed by Parlo for doing something undeniably horrible. But that kid just cares about their favorite YouTuber's next upload, not what he does behind the camera. So they will see Parlo's video and just instantly start hating on him, which is understandable. The job comes with hate, and when you're dealing with an audience like Parlo's, you do tend to get a lot more of it. However, that isn't the point. The point is, the hate he would get wouldn't just be people in his comments section getting mad. Parlo was getting his face leaked, his address doxed, his parents doxed, and being 17 at the time, not only did this affect his personal life, but it would ultimately affect his parents' life too. But not only that, also his relationship with them, because his parents wouldn't understand how the internet works. They wouldn't understand why their son is getting so much hate to the point that their lives are in danger. And even if explained to them, it still seems stupid to any rational person. But the doxing would really take a toll on Parlo's mental health. But it wasn't just that, it was the fact that people would say he deserved this treatment just because of what he has reported on in the past. This would ultimately cause Parlo to have a mental breakdown online and post a Twitter thread titled, I am done. In this, he would detail his frustration with what he has to deal with, saying, I am done with many things in general at this point. This is a combination of real life situations and online. I have reached a breaking point, adding, been starving myself of anything to eat and barely going to sleep. I've gotten physically ill. It's the anxiety, paranoia, relentless stress, and conflict I've found myself in for months too. No one can truly understand unless they have been a victim them to it too, as well as I have held the mentality that this community, the RTC, is one of the shittiest communities. The pure amount of internet degeneracy, herd mentality, and toxicity are rampant, a breeding ground of pessimism, conflict, and aggression. I can confirm because I used to participate in it. However, this wasn't all. Parlo would also receive numerous false strikes, and if you don't already know what a false strike is, well, YouTube have a very broken copyright system, allowing any random person to request a takedown on somebody's content. So they will do this request, but they will lie and say they own the rights to something random in the video, which allows them to take it down. But the problem with this is to appeal a copyright strike, you have to basically give them all of your information. So you really just have three options. 1. Ignore the strike and let it go away, affecting your channel in multiple negative ways. 2. Appeal and possibly get doxed. Or 3. Pay thousands of dollars for an attorney to file the appeal for you. Now, I don't know about you guys, but either of those options suck. Even I have experience with being falsely striked, and I still to this day never got it resolved. However, Parlo would address these strikes in a future video entitled "It's Over."
For those of you who don't know, I had received 4 full strikes in which were filed towards my channel with the intent to deplatform me and completely prevent me from making a video. If your channel has 3 copyright strikes, that means you're physically unable to upload content, and this directly affects my ability to gain revenue and affects my income. This deplatformation campaign was utilized by Guamgo, ThatBoardGamer, and their friend SebMotions.
On December 3rd of 2023, a small commentary channel known as ScorpyHQ would directly call out Parlo in a video titled "Parlo, the ultimate guide to ending your reputation." In the video, Scorpy would go into detail his opinion on Parlo, stating,
"Meet the YouTuber that confirms every stereotype of the average Roblox degenerate."
Scorpy would cover the Jadyn and Parlo drama that happened ages ago. However, this wasn't the main point of his video. See, most people who hate on Parlo bring up either one of two things: homotopia or him defending Nothorix.
It was the month of September 2023. A YouTuber named Nothorix, or Natty Forsyth, who had already been outcasted by the community due to their incredibly disgusting behavior around minors, would destroy any piece of a career they had left by live streaming in their underwear to their underage fans.
You confirm, right? You confirm that you streamed in your underwear to fans that were most likely under the age of 18.
Yeah.
And this, unsurprisingly, would result in his channel being taken down, and all the connections he somehow did have left would completely disown him as a result of his indefensible actions. But there is one special person that still stood by his side despite all this, even going as far as to come up with excuses to defend the absolutely degenerate actions of Natty Forsyth, and that person was Parlo.
Now, if you don't already know about Nothorix, let me summarize it for you. See, Nothorix was once a thriving Roblox commentary channel, liked by most in the niche, and pretty uncontroversial for the most part. However, rumors would start circulating about Nothorix being a See, apparently someone had proof that they were in their underwear while in a Discord call with and also some other alleged stuff that happened on Snapchat. But that's not the point of this video. I want to answer the question as to why people attack Parlo for defending Natty. Well, let me put it into perspective for you guys as a YouTuber. The entire community may agree that someone is a or a bad person in the comments. However, as a YouTuber, but specifically a commentary channel like Parlo's, you cannot accuse someone of something like that without at least solid, concrete evidence. Now, the problem with what Parlo did wasn't because he was defending a because it is not yet proven that Nothorix is one. It is because he was friends with Nothorix at the time and would defend their name without knowing if the allegation was true or false. As Nothorix's friend, Parlo didn't believe the rumor, which as a supportive friend is something you're supposed to do. But as a YouTuber, you can't do that, because if it gets proven correct, it can be an extremely bad look on your part. However, nothing has caused more hate on Parlo than the homotopia situation. Before we fully get into what homotopia exactly is, I want you all to keep in mind that this is the main reason so many people call Parlo a pet. It would all start with one person who is very notorious in the story of Parlo, from extensive harassment, doxing Parlo's legal name, face, and even his parents' personal information. XD Gamer is a key person within the story of Parlo. If you don't already know, he would start not only the doxing of Parlo, but the accusation that Parlo was a pet. However, I think Parlo would be better at explaining who exactly XDGamer is and why he is so prominent in his history.
First of all, you need to know who XDGamer is. XDGamer is someone who I have covered extensively in the past in the form of multiple videos, Google Documents, and even archive servers. This person has doxed and harassed multiple minors, posted CP, and owned servers in which facilitated the distribution of not safe for work to minors, which is extremely hypocritical in the sense that he attempted to spin a narrative that I did, even though he literally did 10 trillion times worse. This person created this document under my dad's doxed legal name, in which he had obtained after releasing a dox spin with all my personal information in it on October the 1st, 2022. And he used this information consistently over and over again for the past 370 days to harass me with. The goal of XDGamer's campaign was made obvious, and lots of my mutuals know this. XDGamer wants me to try and end my life again, and this motive has been made extremely clear in this tweet which I'm showing right now. Now, XDGamer literally posted CP of Natty Forsyth multiple times from when they were 17 years old. I've literally got Natty Forsyth's multiple testimonies of this, and they posted this multiple times on Twitter, meaning that they possessed and distributed CP, and also meaning multiple minors saw this image in the replies of Natty Forsyth, and they also aided this with the caption, "I can see why you cut this off, because XDGamer is extremely transphobic and bigoted." This person also signal boosted art of me when I was drawn as a child getting R-worded, and then XDGamer tried to craftily defend this by saying, "Oh, it's not a Roblox avatar, no, it's purposely drawn as a child, it has the anatomical features of a child, and it was made when I was a minor. It's literally art of CP." This person has also posted at what the time were claiming to be images of themselves, and they were saying they were a minor. So they posted this image to me and my friends, one of them named Atta, who was literally 13 years old, so XDGamer quite literally posted a dick pic to a 13-year-old.
However, this all started with a Discord server called Homotopia, which would be created on the 14th of May 2023. The Discord server was owned by Parlo under his Cami Femboy account. However, another important thing to note is during the time Parlo owned and was in the server, he was 17 at the time, making him a at the time this took place. You see, after 10 months of non-stop harassment, XDGamer decided to fabricate the false narrative that Parlo was some kind of In June of 2023, XD took to Twitter to state, "Roblox YouTuber Parlo has been exposed for running an NSFW Discord server which allowed Parlo knowingly exposed to pornographic content and allowed inappropriate photos of to be posted." Now, these allegations were extremely serious. If true, could ruin Parlo's career forever. Attached to the Twitter post XDGamer made would be a link to the Google document that contained all of the supposed proof that Parlo was a predator. He would allege that within this Homotopia Discord server, it would contain discussions about sexual experiences, making sexual comments to other members, and even sending images to other members. However, Parlo would go on to address all of this in his response video.
XDGamer's document states, "Homotopia was a Discord server owned by Parlo under the Cami Femboy account. The server had clear sexual undertones, and most conversations were sexual in nature, which was a lie. This included discussing experiences, kinks, and making comments to other members, and sending images to other members. I never saw that happening, so that's another lie. The rules for the Discord stated nobody under the age of 16 was allowed. That's a lie. This means Parlo was directly allowing underage individuals to be exposed to illicit content. Another massive lie. Even worse, this rule was ignored as some of the most active members were openly as young as 15 years old. This was another lie. He's just trying to warp it something it wasn't. XDGamer, who is a horrible person who we have discussed earlier, desperately tries to push a narrative that Homotopia was a not safe for work server in which allowed to bypass an age verification and allowed them to post explicit content. This is a lie. The server was originally set up as a mutual/follower safe for work Discord server under my safe for work account for people who most were literally the same age as me, the youngest being like 2 years younger than me, Pyro, who was the 15-year-old who most people always mention, and he was literally about to turn 16 as of June. The server had multiple very active moderators and swiftly banned bad actors from the server if they explicitly violated a rule.
But why exactly did Parlo even run this server in the first place? After all, he could have just made a group chat with the same people that were in the server.
The server was originally established to siphon supporters from my main Twitter account to a new server, like a hangout area, in case of XDGamer actually finding the main Twitter account and false reporting it, getting it taken down via Twitter, because Twitter would always ban my accounts at the time due to ban evasion. Like literally there's a bunch of accounts which are logged, banning them all randomly for ban evasion because they all went under the same IP. Basically, this server would ensure that connections were maintained and that influence could be preserved when a new account was made, so I can ping everyone saying, oh look, I've got a new Twitter account. So basically it was just me planning for the worst case scenario.
So if the server was originally created for Parlo to siphon members from his Cami Femboy Twitter account, why would XD Gamer randomly lie and say that the Discord server was made to share NSFW content?
And as you can see here, there's a screenshot of me stating, true. Can you attest the server was not a not safe for work server in which harbored images of minors? And then this person states, what is the person even talking about? I can attest that the server was not safe for work. No one posted not safe for work stuff. Then another screenshot here I state, to Pyro, alright, and you can attest too that the server wasn't not safe for work, and he states, and then I state here, because there was a rule stating it wasn't, and Pyro states, yeah, there was a gay joke here and there, but that was about it. Pyro and other members can literally attest to the fact that there was a rule specifically stating that not safe for work content was not allowed. We literally showed Discord terms of services in which state that. In another screenshot here I state, the doxer has made a Google document basically claiming how homotopia was a not safe for work Discord server in which allowed images of them born in the server. Can you attest that the server was not safe for work and it was strictly against the rules to post such material? And then Beluzibub says, it was, yes, against the rules to post not safe for work content on it. Not safe for work channel was made by day, like day one, like Privet made the channel on the first day, but it was deleted an hour later, because there's no reason to have such a thing in a Discord server full of minors, and Day was an alleged file who we literally banned. I removed the not safe for work channel. Why would it be a not safe for work server if we delete not safe for work channels and it remains safe for work? Like, we see this narrative isn't working here, and I state to Jackie Freeze, by the way, can you attest that the server was not a not safe for work channel and that it was strictly against the rules to post not safe for work content? And then they state absolutely.
However, what if the alleged NSFW content was deleted? After all, XD Gamer did add in his document stating this.
Anyway, XD Gamer's document continues by stating, Parlo suspiciously purged all messages sent by him on the server multiple times. This was done before and after the server was discovered. There are no archives of any messages sent by Parlo before the server was discovered. Another point XD Gamer claims is that I systematically purged my DMs to avoid being caught, when I literally had nothing to hide. Many members of the server know I was going through mental troubles at that time, especially complicated by the malevolent actions of XD Gamer literally, and that I had only ever used homotopia specifically to vent, as the server also had a vent channel to encourage other members to be very open about their problems and mental struggles, so we could cultivate a less depressing community and help those who needed support.
And with no real proof against Parlo, it wasn't very hard for him to defend himself. However, if it is that straightforward, how come people in the community still call Parlo a to this day? After Parlo defended himself in multiple video responses, live streams, and Twitter statements, XD Gamer would still push this narrative, on top of endlessly harassing Parlo and his community. However, homotopia still wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Slowly but surely, the server would start turning into more of a degenerate cesspool rather than a place where Parlo's supporters could hang out. Parlo would address this later in the year in a video titled, Taking Accountability.
Upon my inactivity, I should have never entrusted users like Natty Forsyth and my other moderation team members with mod permissions because of what it eventually divulged into. It was not an illegal CP server or an NSFW server, but it was a degenerate server that was not appropriate or professional. Had I had known what was happening, I would have taken abrupt action, and I take accountability for being a negligent server owner, and a situation on that caliber of degeneracy will never transpire again. I can give assurances to that. I never knew that the server would divulge into what it did, and I never expected Nat to do what she did. I never knowingly let my post suggestive content of themselves, and most of the images they posted were abdominal progress pictures, none which were truly new whatsoever. And as for the quote-unquote NSFW images, most if not all the images were not nudity or NSFW whatsoever, except for the Garfield image. I even proved this with a Google reverse search engine in my aforementioned response video. Even multiple witness testimonies can conclude that the server was not NSFW.
Parlo would also disprove that he had any involvement with the degeneracy that transpired.
However, once again, any inclination that I openly facilitated or knew what was transpiring in that server is a flat-out lie, and there is no proof proving my culpability in that matter. The idea that I'm a creep or a over this situation is simply unfounded, incorrect, and misinformed. Pyro, who was the youngest person to my knowledge who was a contention point into this entire situation, was only 2 years 1 month younger than me. Just because the testimonies are from people who were associates of me in the homotopia server doesn't detract the validity of what they ultimately said. Their messages and statements individually and categorically prove how I was not active in the server whatsoever and would even barely interact with anyone under that alias even in DMs.
However, after ongoing mental health issues, harassment, and many other factors, Parlo would ultimately take a break from platforms like Twitter and Discord to purely focus on YouTube and improving his mental health. This takes us into 2024, but specifically the month of September. But what exactly makes this month so special? Well, Parlo was getting a lot of hate. Twitter was on his ass, even accusing him of being a pedophile. And although Parlo has dealt with this type of hate many times before, this would be another breaking point. The hate got so bad to the point where people were just spamming his docs within the Roblox community. However, it was one comment that would anger Parlo more than anything else. A Twitter account called Plush would go on to make a joke about Parlo replying to someone with "He is not like us," in reference to the hit song Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, where he would allude to Drake being a pedophile. And Parlo would assume that this was a backhanded joke about him being a pedophile and will go on to call Plush out in his Discord server reading, "At everyone, I'm making a full-length video debunking the harassment and slander that Twitter has spread against me and my name. This will be the last time I address Twitter. Please report the accounts engaging in slander and harassment. Thank you all." However, not long after, Parlo would realize the mistake of blasting a random Twitter user to his entire Discord server, posting a lengthy apology to Plush as well as addressing the hate and accusations he has received from Twitter. However, the situation would pretty much force Parlo to go on to delete his Twitter account and stay off the platform for good. Even Plush would come out to clear up the quote beef in a tweet that read, "Me and Parlo are on good terms right now. Can we actually stop fighting, please?" But on top of the long Twitter apology, this would also cause Parlo to post a video on September 29th titled "My Response."
I'm gonna be completely blunt and honest with everyone watching this video. I cannot mentally take this anymore.
The video would detail his frustration with not only the community, but Twitter, the accusations, the hate, and the doxing, claiming that he can't do this anymore and he needs a break.
Yesterday I had a mental breakdown and decided to ultimately leave Twitter because users on it are trying to do their best to ruin my life, my reputation, and slander me as a fucking pedophile.
However, one comment on that video stood out to me more than any other. Popular Roblox YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers known as Ruben Sim would put it perfectly reading, "When you're a YouTuber, there's always going to be people who will say anything to get under your skin. It just comes with the job. You need to learn to ignore people like that because when you give them attention and dedicate entire videos to them, you just fan the flames." However, 2024 wouldn't just end there for Parlo, as in the exact same day he dropped his response video, commentary YouTuber and friend of mine, Amos, would go onto Twitter to call out Parlo stating, "Roblox YouTuber Parlo has recently responded, but weirdly didn't talk about him side baiting. Weird." Adding, "For those skeptical, here are the clips and some leaded messages between me and Parlo after he baited," with an attached clip allegedly showing proof.
You said you were going to do that shit, correct?
Yes.
Now let's see what Parlo is doing now. Oh yeah, he also like conceded to it.
Let me say this earth-shattering thing, okay? Although it was not my intention to side bait objectively by definition, it's technically side baiting, but it was not my intention.
Oh, we can see it's a 2 hours.
Parlo is yet to respond to this, but yet again, this situation would not be the last for Parlo in 2024, but what happened next was deplorable, yet Parlo wasn't the one responsible. You see, this would all start with a game that was trending a few months ago called Sprunki. Sprunki was an indie game developed by a 15-year-old named Nyanko. See, Nyanko liked to talk to his fans, and people who were just interested in supporting his game. However, it wouldn't be long for him to get taken advantage of, as somebody who I will be naming Bad Parlo, who was impersonating Parlo at the time, would go on to send Nyanko a message, getting on his good side so that he could take out his next plan. Bad Parlo would send Nyanko a file to download to quote, test out a game of his, and being a clueless 15-year-old, Nyanko would download it not knowing that it contained some pretty malicious malware that would ultimately grant Bad Parlo with every detail of Nyanko's personal information. Not only would the hacker dox Nyanko's face, address, emails, passwords, and family, but he would go on a marathon of doing the worst possible shit he could do with Nyanko's Discord account, spamming disgusting statements, spamming slurs, saying some extremely out-of-pocket shit, and even deleting Nyanko's Discord account altogether. As a result of all this, Nyanko would give up and make an announcement stating that he will stop working on Sprunki altogether for his own safety. However, the hacker didn't like this. He wanted more, and more he would certainly do, posting a live webcam from Nyanko's computer, even doxing Nyanko yet again, but on YouTube this time. The hacker would post a community note on YouTube warning Nyanko to tell everyone that he killed Sprunki or the hacker would leak all of his family pictures. Understandably, Nyanko didn't want to engage, and as a quote consequence, the hacker would post more of Nyanko's personal information as well as family photos and audio recordings from Nyanko's day-to-day life. And I wish this is where it stopped, but the hacker would go on to demand $500 payment or cause even more damage than what was already done. But he wouldn't stop, going on to send a SWAT team to Nyanko's house, with the situation finally ending when Bad Parlo would threaten Flamingo by calling him out as his next target. And since the hacker was using Parlo's name, unsurprisingly, a lot of the people, at least on Twitter, thought it was the actual Parlo behind everything. Many people on Twitter would spam him with hate, with some still thinking it was him to this day. This would ultimately cause Parlo to drop a video on the situation on December 3rd, proving that him and Nyanko were cool and that he was in fact not behind the attack. And this is where we are at now, just gone into 2025, and Parlo is getting just as much hate as he got a few years ago. But before wrapping up this video, I would like to talk about the Parlo cycle. Some of you may know what this is already, however I think it is definitely good to point out since Parlo still hasn't stopped this pattern of behavior. See, Parlo is known for this quote, Parlo cycle, but what exactly does this mean? Well, we all see Parlo get into drama every so often, and it usually starts the same way and finishes the same way almost every single time. It will start with somebody in the commentary or Roblox community that will call him out, send him hate, bring up false allegations, bring up his docs, or something that will bait Parlo into responding. Usually this works well when people call him out for his history with a now retired Roblox YouTuber known as Nothorix. Parlo will usually then proceed to make an emotional based comment on said call out, whether this is a Twitter reply, Discord message, or comment on a video. Then the original poster will keep egging Parlo on until Parlo finally snaps. This is where you will see Parlo spurg out on Twitter or YouTube or in Discord, prompting even more hate than what he started with. Then a few days or maybe weeks will pass and Parlo will end up deleting everything he said and saying he was stupid for responding in the first place. This is usually how the Parlo cycle goes. But can I even blame Parlo for reacting this way? Well, yes. During my career, I've spoken to Parlo many times before, in voice calls and over messages, and I don't necessarily think he is a bad person. However, I do understand why he is so hated. Not only is he on a platform where attention gets you hate, but his channel, his job, his content is literally making videos talking mostly bad about other YouTubers and communities. And obviously these YouTubers and communities, although maybe going through a massive controversy, will always have support from people. people. So no, I'm not surprised that some people from said communities have hated on Parlo and still hate him to this day, but do I think he deserves the hate? No, but like Ruben Sim put before, this job comes with hate, and if you cannot handle the hate, the job just isn't for you, because it will just result in what Parlo does. Now, I know Parlo will watch this video, so what do I think you should be doing from now on to avoid the same mistake you have been making every year? Hate is inevitable, but giving the hate attention is only going to make it worse for you. Parlo is a human after all, and having your family as well as yourself doxed to hundreds of thousands of people definitely cannot be an easy thing to move past. So maybe treat YouTube like a job. Stay off giving your opinion on Twitter and Discord, and just keep it to making the videos, notifying your Discord when you upload, and going on with your day. But sitting on Discord or Twitter arguing with people that are probably 12 years old when you have almost 500,000 subscribers will never ever work. You will never be able to stop the hate or win against these people. You are fighting an army that cannot lose. But as always, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy content like this, please make sure to subscribe. And if you want to watch something similar to this, click the video on screen now.